Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the good, the bad, and the awesome for Datacron set 31 for old times, which just makes me think of the New Year's Eve song for Auld Lang Syne. I don't know about you. This is a 5v5 Datacron set, which someone helpfully requested that I add a sticker visually to acknowledge if it's a 5v5 or 3v3 set, since it's different now. It's not two of each. It's two 5v5s and one 3v3. It will still be used in 3v3, but when you're trying to think through the permutations and the implications of this set, think of 5v5 primarily. We're going to look at everything from stats to character abilities. And right up front, I'll tell you, this is a pretty weak set. It doesn't have focused datacrons. And I don't think it's going to have a ton of things that's going to blow you away, but it's still something you're going to have to get a decent inventory of if you're a high-end player. Let's get on moving with stats. And with the stats, we have plenty of things we've been seeing for quite a long time, not changed too much, but some things we don't have armor penetration, we don't have defense, we do have health and protection, and then crit damage. I do think those are the best stats for this one. I think crit damage is establishing itself as more of the go-to damage type, not only because it's good for both resistance, penetrate, or special damage dealers and physical damage dealers, but the amounts kind of translate to competitive impacts compared to just armor pen resistance penetration. And you have some teams that have mixed damage dealers, both special and physical. Health and protection good for anyone, in solid amounts too. I think it's worth getting at least two really high protection ones, one for like JML and one for, I don't know, Keller and Beck, Satil Sean or something. We do have an Old Republic set, so load up on protection for that one. I put offense in the bad category as well as crit chance, because offense, the amounts are pretty pathetic. Offense would be an amazing stat if we had better amounts, and these are the level 7 and 8 boosts. The level 1 and 2 is quite pathetic for offense. It's 1 to 5%, which is, for like health and protection, for example, it's 5 to 10%. Crit chance, it's an edge case. I mean, I recently had great success with adding some extra crit chance on my Ben Solo, but that was modding. You don't need to give up all the good stats you could get for that crit chance. I think it's more specific. And physical damage dealers at higher relics have tons and tons of crit chance, which is way more, prolific. There's a lot more physical damage dealers. Potency and tenacity, they're good. The potency amounts are just huge, so I moved it back over to good from bad previously in tenacity, but it's just, you have a specific purpose in mind. Maybe like one roll of potency is plenty, unless you have a super specific idea in mind. But that's our stats. For alignment abilities with light side, I'll make it simple for you. There's one that's worth getting. The rest are terrible. The 15% max health and max protection. We are so used to this one at this point, we take it for granted, but it is quite impactful. If we ever have a stretch of 3 full sets without this for anything, you can kind of notice your light side teams are going to go down much faster. Other than that, we got 20% protection up. We have gaining protection when you inflict damage over time. That's not super common on light side people to inflict damage over time to get some protection up. Resisting a debuff for health and protection, completely out of your control, and then health recovery from critically hitting an enemy. All bad. There's 4 bad and 1 awesome. I don't know if I've ever quite seen anything like it. All trash. Only go for the 15% one. And it's not much better for dark side. We don't have any that I would consider awesome. The ones I consider good are whenever a dark side ally daze or stun an enemy, they recover 10% health protection. Daze and stun is common enough. I think of specifically Lord Vader does an AoE 5v5, recovers half his health. Pretty impactful. It's pretty good. And then, when the dark side ally is defeated, it juices up the remaining members with 15% offense and 20 speed. That's okay. Like, good is basically like the okay rating for this. The bad is when you grant a buff to another ally, they get 5% turn meter. I think it may have been a level 6 before, but I've seen 10% all over the place, but I think that was probably a faction bonus. It's just not impactful enough. It's once per turn per ally. If it was like stacking per buff, then we'd be talking, but I mean, it's kind of like, it could be like a 5% boost every turn if you're giving out buffs to everyone, but that's not really the case. Recovering 2% health and protection for gaining a buff. Dark side is generally less buff heavy than light side, whereas the light side one that has 3% health and protection, I give a good rating. They have more buffs and it's a higher amount, so I think that is more impactful there. And then the chance to dispel, it's just too low of a chance. If it's still bugged, that's great, but it's just kind of a low chance. So nothing super compelling about Darkside. Like, if you want a Datacron, make it for the level 6 and level 9s that you want. Don't worry too much about the level 3s. There's nothing crazy to get there. The story is completely different when it comes to level 6 abilities. We have some pretty strong level 6s across the board. Starting with the awesome ones, we have the bonus turn for falling under 100% health. Quite good on defense. And then we have the, other than Galactic Legends, if you have more than half turn meter, the damage you received is reduced by 75%. That is particularly good on offense, facing the CPU that doesn't know or doesn't like think about this logically. On defense, it's still good, but it's something you can kind of work around. Whereas like the bonus turn is something, the only way around it is to one shot from full health to 0 through a little bit of protection. But the damage reduction is just a classic. That is extremely strong in my opinion. And the other ones are still good. Nothing is complete trash, but I still want to go for those two awesomes. This one is new. When Old Republic allies recover protection, they gain 2% max protection up to 150%. So that, it depends. I mean, in practice of how much that's going to happen throughout a match. I mean, does it count if they're full on protection already? Because technically they're not recovering it, but if there's an ability that would recover if they had lost, does that count? How fast are you going to get to 150? It could be good. I could see it being decent. But overall, it's just like, it's all right. When Old Republic allies are stunned, they get 50% turn meter recovery health and protection. That turns out decent sometimes. I mean, it's a good way to have a quick turnaround on that stun. They might get to 100% turn meter right away. That recovers some health and protection. It's not bad. This is wrong. I need to sub that out. And there we go. That's the last one. Still good rating, but I missed switching that. Whenever a debuff on an enemy expires, Old Republic allies gain 2% potency and tenacity till the end of the battle. So potency and tenacity, stacking. Could be good. It really depends. Situational. Not something I'd want to bet the farm on, but overall, not bad. Really looking forward to what the Old Republic is going to do this season, specifically Satele Shan. And sorry, Karth. I don't really see Karth being super great, but yeah, we'll see. For Separatists, I have a couple awesome ones in rating with a caveat. I think these are sadly only really viable in territory wars, because I think the Separatist faction overall is kind of more or less defunct other than their Omicrons. Like if you have Trench's Omicrons, which could be really solid when you combine these level 6s with this level 9s and such. And then this one is effectively a Grievous one. At the start of each ally Separatist turn, inflict target lock on a random enemy that doesn't have it, can't be resisted. And when a target Separatist ally gains bonus turn meter, if they didn't have 100, they get 3% crit damage. If the target enemy is target locked when separate allies use special ability, they gain 3% max health for the rest of the encounter. That is all about Grievous, because Grievous needs target locks out there for its turn meter train, removing turn meter, gaining turn meter. Crit damage is something that's going to help everyone except B1, because Grievous does damage based on his max health. So to juice up his damage, you want crit damage. This one, it used to be really, really good just in GAC, but the board is the board is so small and the options we have expand so much, and Grievous is more or less a turn meter train team with a revenge factor built in. People die off if you have his Zeta, he gets a revenge hit, but it's not really viable anymore, at least in Kyber. In lower levels, maybe you're getting some good use out of him. Take out some JMLs, maybe, if you have a built up Grievous team. But it's a team I just generally don't recommend newer players spend a lot of resources on or time on. And then this next one is good for like a trench team that has new Separatist allies are immune to daze. Just good generally. Enemies without extortion have minus 100% crit chance and potency, so they're not really going to be critting much, and they're not going to be letting debuffs, which is a good potent combo. Whenever non-droid Separatist allies use a special ability on their turn, they get riposte for one turn. And there's a lot of assists on that trench team, but like I said, more limited to TW. The bad one is they use this all the time. It's just, I think it's meant to be just trash. When a Separatist ally is revived, they get protection over time. 25% turn meter, reduce their quells by 1. It's just not impactful, and it doesn't make you revive. It's just in the event you do revive, you'll get these things. The solid ones are defeating an enemy, getting a bonus turn. And when a Separatist ally is critically hit, they get 100% crit avoidance and crit chance for 2 turns. I would prioritize the bonus turn for a Django Crime level 9, which we'll talk about, because that's the only one he's really going to be getting anything out of. Or the crit avoidance is decent. I mean, getting 100% crit avoidance at any point is really useful. So some good options. It's just like the practical applications are going to be more so limited. Next, we're going to the Old Republic level 9s, and it might be surprising that right away you're seeing both the Satele and the Karth ones only with a good rating. Because they have so many words, they're so big. And Satele is a recent-ish conquest unit, so this is her time to shine. She's getting a Datacron. Why is it not the best? There's better options. And then Karth for the Satele team. And Karth is just generally, I don't think he really has it anymore. So Satele, if all allies are Old Republic, so literally just that one team, first time she loses all protection, she recovers 100% protection. I mean, that's good. That's just kind of a fail-safe MIDI a savior mechanic, but that still leaves the team vulnerable because if they're working around her, taking out Revan, if like the sides start falling, she's gonna die eventually. At the start of the battle, she taunts for 2 turns. Okay, great. Starting out with that's good. While she's taunting, Old Republic allies are immune to turn meter removal. All good stuff. All of this is good stuff. Whenever an Satele attacks an enemy with protection, so pretty much anyone, removes 2% max protection up to 20%, just a little bit of a low max, and all Old Republic allies gain 5% max protection up to 50% to the end of the battle. That is good. I do think that's good. Whenever marked is dispelled or removed from an enemy, the next use of a basic ability from an Old Republic Jedi ally will inflict mark on the target enemy for 2 turns. So that part is hit or miss. Like, if you are able to get to who you want to mark, that's great. But if the mark expired and there's a taunt, it's kind of like, why do I want to be forced to mark the tank? Maybe I'm able to dispel his taunt later, but I stuck with the mark I was forced on. So all that is good stuff. I just think we have a better one on the next screen for that team. Karth. Karth has plus 100% max health, max protection, and potency, and gains 15% turn meter whenever another character ends their turn. Whenever he uses a basic ability, he attacks 2 more times. Whenever an Old Republic ally is dazed, they dispel it. When they dispel daze, they gain 15% turn meter. Whenever an enemy is defeated, Karth gains 25% offense and crit damage. Until the end of the battle, his cooldowns are reset and he gains 100% turn meter. So, the big problem with this is I just don't think the Karth team is that viable. I could be wrong with the Zalbar Omicron in there. A lot of this is around building up Karth, and it doesn't have enough mechanics to, like, make sure the Old Republic survives. It's like they're immune to days. They're going to get a little bit of turn meter. But it's really kind of focused around him. Like, we have the Zalbar Omicron already, and it's still not used at a high end. I mean, at a, like, you know, chromium and below, maybe a little rhodium, you could probably make this work. But why do you want to build up a Karth team so much to, like, all Relic 6 or all Relic 6 to get the most out of it just for this? You can't. And with Satele now, Bastila's not really an option. Juhani's not really an option. Jolie, you can't use any of those. So then you're going to be stuck with Karth, Mission, Zalbar, T3, and then you probably pull on Canderous if you're not going to use him with Maul. And you probably won't use Sortie because Sortie will be somewhere else. So I just don't think in practicality he's going to matter. It's a big boost to him, but he is so bad to start with, it's just not enough to save him. And then T3, I don't even get what the point of this is. When he inflicts ability block against him, it's just so stupid. It's not even worth talking about. It's just the worst level 9 in the whole thing. And now, we have the awesome Old Republic abilities. These two, I think, clearly stand head and shoulders above the rest. Sortie first, because it's simple. Sortie deals 25% more damage per relic amplifier level on all allies. And this is a 5v5 set. If everyone's R8, which is not far-fetched, or an average R8, not far-fetched in Kyber 1 at all, that's 40 relic levels. So do the math. That is 1,000% damage. More damage. We had this not too long ago with Stick Ray, and even though she's fallen out of favor drastically, that was still mixing it up. Sortie, on the other hand, has a double, triple hit AoE. Put her on Ray, it's going to be crazy. People are going to be planning around this. I think you absolutely want Sortie with Ray. I think you probably want to remod your Sortie for damage, either offense or crit damage. But the way it's written, like 25% more damage. I don't know if mathematically it's better to go offense or crit damage for it. Offense generally, and then if you have crit, like get a lot of crit chance on your Datacron, that's gonna be nuts. Will it end up just as an offensive team because everyone plans around it? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it could be a really good defensive stalwart. But there's a lot of competition for Ray's attention. You know, there's the Luminarachron. There's always something you can use with Ray. Or maybe you could make a droid nuke team. You have BB-8 in there, get your turn meter going real fast. You have T3M4 juicing up the damage. I don't know. Maybe we see that as viable. The reason I don't rank the Satele one as awesome is because I think Bastila you need to go for. Generally, the Satele one would Ray is awesome, but I want to make it clear that I recommend Bastila. Bastila's going to go with Satele whether it's 5v5 or 3v3. And this is basically Bastila's lead. At the start of the battle, Old Republic allies gain 15% turn meter, so that's a mini, like the level 3 that gives you 25% turn meters. It gives you a boost to start to go first. Protection up, 200% can't be dispelled, and Old Republic tank allies taunt for 1 turn. So Bastila, or Satele, is taunting for 2 turns with her Cron, but she's going to get a 1-turn taunt anyway, which is the most important, to at least make sure you're going to get your turns before other people start getting hit. And you could choose to taunt on that turn anyway. While Old Republic allies have protection up, they have 150% tenacity and deal 35% more damage. I just think this has so much more overall to it. This is basically Bastila's lead Zeta, which on his own is insufficient these days. But we had this exact Cron before with her, and it was just great. But back then, we didn't have a Satele Shan. We used Revan lead with Bastila, which was great, and there was a lot to work with. But it was only boosting Old Republic. In the Old Republic, it's like Revan you'd run with other Jedi that weren't in the Old Republic, so it was a little bit more limited. Now we have this awesome new Conquest unit with a great, amazing leadership to combine with Bastila's leadership. It's going to be forever before they even get through the purple. It's going to be like you're basically invincible at the start, and you have plenty of time to make things work, which with all the true damage they have is going to be crazy. I don't know what's really going to like take care of Satele that easily. She's known as being bad on defense. Might be really good on defense with this. This Bastila combined with Satele lead is amazing. I'm really looking forward to that more than anything else in this set. Last group of level 9s, we have the Separatists. Grievous sitting at the bottom. I don't get his. It's kind of whatever. When he inflicts a debuff, recover 25% max health and max protection. Big whoop. He already has crazy health steal. He's going to recover some protection. But it's only once per turn, so he'd have to like not get hit and then have 4 turns in a row to get back to 100%. So it's kind of crap. Sunfac. This could be awesome if Geos were really relevant. He has 100% counter chance. He already has some. He already can counters. That's huge. He's immune to daze and stun, so that's good. Whenever his Sunfac attacks at a turn, he dispels all debuffs on himself, deals bonus true damage equal to 15% of his max health to the enemy, which is happening all the time. And then for each debuff dispelled this way, Geos gain 5% defense, max health, max protection. There's just too many ways to like get around Geos for this to be awesome. At a lower level, I could see this being really handy. And if it was like all Geos are immune to daze and stun, then we're talking. But throw them in on TW, that's kind of threatening. The Separatists, I think like the whole Separatist like Datacron structure is way more beneficial for just TW than GAC. Than TW, I think it's like way less important. Same with Droideka. Droideka has a TW Omicron, but it's not really viable in GAC. When he crits an enemy, he gains damage immunity for 1 turn and blinds that enemy for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. I think his unload is special, where it's a bunch of different hits. That's true damage, but his basic is a crit, and his assist can crit with that. If the enemy is target locked, Droideka also gets protection up, 100% retribution and speed for 2 turns. So this stacks really nicely, just with his general Omicron. I do think it's a lower level TW. I don't know if this gets play at higher end TW. I also just don't know too much about higher end TW, but I will tell you, Retribution is kind of wasted if you have damage immunity, because you have to get damage to hit people back. But overall, some decent mid-level TW boosts. And we have 3 Datacrons in the Separatist faction I'd rank as awesome, and 2 of them I think have more GAC play. Asajj Ventress, we'll go from bottom to top. Asajj, we see this a lot. It's a bonus turn whenever any enemy takes a turn with 100% more damage. I don't see this as super viable on defense because she's really reluctant to use her AoE. She might use her basic, but I think if it's available, she'll use her like buff removal special, which is, I mean, it's good. I don't know. I almost rated this good, but I never want to count out an ability like this, especially with Night Sisters, which is their mechanics are kind of like a powder keg, just waiting for a little bit of boost to like launch. Like in Conquest, they have their stat boost, and then they're just crazy because of all the revives. It's nuts. Like they speed up. So I don't know. I think it could be a good offensive tool, whether it's on Talzin or Great Mothers. I'm not sure, but could be good. Admiral Trench. We've seen this exact one before. I think the last time it came out, it came and went for Grand Arena, and I never really used it too much. But I think for TW, it gets an awesome rating. Non-droid Separatists start the encounter with Tactical Supremacy for 2 turns. That's his unique buff. Whenever Separatist allies gain heal every time, they gain 5% quick chance, up to 200 for the rest of the encounter. When Separatist allies gain a stack of protection every time, they gain 5% defense, up to 200% for the rest of the encounter, so you're stacking your quick chance and defense. Whenever Trench uses a basic on his turn, calls all other allies with Riposte to assist. Whenever Trench shocks an enemy, he gains protection up for 1 turn. The big thing here is calling all other allies with Riposte to assist. I can see that being really nice in TW, because Trench is generally a counter to Rey, and I do think the Django one I'm going to go into in a second. This Django one is meant for like to run with bounty hunters, which I think of as more of the GAC approach. In TW, I think you will be free to just bring Django with Trench. I don't see people using bounty hunters for anything in TW, given the really small board of like 8 different teams. But that could be really good. I think that could be a good TW1 in GAC. I really don't see it getting used much where I'm at. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Django Fett, finally. This is the one I love. I'm really interested to see this one. It looks fun. Whenever Django inflicts burning, or inflict vulnerable on all enemies for 2 turns, whenever an enemy dispels burning, they're inflicted with healing immunity for 1 turn. So you're going to get burning and vulnerable, or they're going to be set with healing immunity. I think that's great. But the best part of it is if Django is in the leader slot, complete the payout for all bounty hunter allies at the start of each encounter, and all bounty hunter allies gain 300% defense. Once payout is active, whenever a bounty hunter uses a special, Django gets 25% offense up to 125% until the end of the battle. Whenever a bounty hunter ally critically hits an enemy, they attack again. I assume that just means an extra basic. I don't think that means like the same ability you used. That's all great. The biggest downside for Django's lead, I think, it has been like the difficulty in getting the contract, because it's inflict like 20 debuffs. But instead you get contract. I think everyone gets Bounty Hunter's Resolve from his lead, which is great. So you got a free extra life for everybody. That means Mando can do an insta-kill right away as long as you're able to get crit chance or crit damage up on him from like an assist. So for 3v3, I like for like Django, Grief, Mando. 5v5, Django, Grief, Mando. Probably new Asajj if you have her. And then maybe Boss just as a tank. And 300% defense. So this is, and then Django's going to get really juiced up with his offense. And we have that bonus turn. If you get the level 6 with the bonus turn, he's going to be a killing machine. So I'm really looking forward to Django. Maybe it's just something I won't find much practical use for in Kyber 1. And Gotenks doesn't really have Django built up, but I'm really I think this will be cool. That's going to be a really fun one to work with. So that's it for Datacron Set 31. Overall, there's a lot of fun stuff in it, but I do think it is weak overall just because it's very narrow factions in their applicability. It might be like 2 or 3 teams per Grand Arena that's really affected. Stats are decent, so we got really weak level 3s and no focus Datacrons. So, but let me know what you think. Do you think it's strong, weak? What do you like about it? What are you excited about? And then what do you disagree with? I'd love to hear it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.